So, what was your 40 time? What was
Wasn't
your bench
good.
press?
So nobody did the bench press. However, Scooter attempted before this to do the bench press, and I just don't know if that footage is ever going to see the light of day. But
It's 225, right? That's what they put on there.
It's like 225 or 245. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a lot.
So let me just put it this way. So going into it, I was not confident. There was no confidence.
Yeah, you're recovering from COVID.
Covering
all
from
the shit, right?
COVID. I ran it 3 times. And then I did like a whole bunch of other drills and stuff. I didn't drop a single ball. You don't worry, it'll all be on video. But good God, man, the amount of respect that I see that I now have for these athletes, one, and how grossly out of shape I have become in 3 months. Oh boy, it's embarrassing. But it was good. Great time. Great time.
Excited. Here we go.
We here.
We're staying.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is a GPS.
And you've been excommunicated.
Ooh, from the church of communism and pornography. That's it.
Couldn't get the government to give me tax-exempt status, so technically still not a religion.
Yeah. It was, so yeah, I just got back yesterday. Yeah, it was a lot. It was like legitimately a huge shout out to like YouTube and the NFL because this was like their first like major like, hey, like bringing creators like that are like us like to these things. And the access we had was insane. The footage that we got was incredible. The experience was awesome. Yeah, I worked every freaking day, like almost every hour of every day, even when going out, working every day and networking. But it was really, really cool. And like kind of just to see that, hey, creators like come into this space, you know, it's good stuff. And like advocating for other creators to be a part of it too, because you know, you give creators who love this access, you know, they're going to make good stuff.
Yeah. What was the most surprising part of the being at the combine for the week?
So we found out like about less than 24 hours in advance that we could interview some prospects, which was awesome. It's just, I was like, I did not bring the proper equipment for this because I was not ready. So I was staying up to like 1:30 to prep, you know, to like make sure, because I think, you know, to just want to be respectful to the guys and stuff like that. I will say, and like it's going to kind of be in this video, one of the biggest surprises I would say is you saw, like, for example, I saw it play out online, like the storyline of Caleb Williams, like not participating in a lot of the stuff and a lot of like the crap that he was getting. And it just kind of like took me a bit by surprise just how at times disrespectful like the questions were to these prospects. Because like they're like 20-year-old kids, man. Like they're like full blown, you know what I mean? But and criticize their jobs, absolutely, right? We do that all the time, and like talk about players playing and all that stuff. But man, like talking to these guys and just like off camera, just be like, dude, like congratulations, like all this hard work. These guys have been playing football since they were like 6 years old, and now they're at the combine. It just like gives you a different perspective. Like I met Joe Barry, who I spent the past 3 years being like, dude, like, yeah, like just from a job perspective, I don't want him on the team anymore. Like he hasn't done the job. And he was like the nicest human being, like just most personable, like just, yeah, it was awesome. But just to kind of meet everybody and within the same space and to have that kind of access, it was a really great experience.
Yeah, that's cool. It's weird though that like it's the media with those questions, they can be like vultures, obviously.
Dude, it's rough.
Like What was like one of the first questions for Caleb Williams? Like,
Yes.
do you
Like,
like to
are you
compete?
afraid?
Are you afraid to compete? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's
I was like, that's
strange.
like what? Like, okay, like that just seemed like out of nowhere.
Yeah. This is the way the combine works. It's like if you are a top 5, top 10 draft prospect,
put it all out there.
You have really, by performing and doing everything they want you to do, you only have shit to lose, right? It's like, oh, if you don't throw well or you don't run well or whatever. If you are somebody who is a third day pick or middle round pick, the opportunity there for you is to increase your draft value. So it's still cool. There's still things to do, but like when you're one of the top dudes, you have to weigh like what risks are you taking by doing X, Y, and Z. And Caleb also opted out of some of the medical stuff. He's like, I'll give the medical to the teams that are interested in me.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never missed a game, a play. So it's silly shit when you when you break it down. Like, but people need something to criticize, or they need an angle, or whatever.
But it was just interesting to see like I don't want to say the origin, because I feel like this kind of stuff, like when Williams was like, I'm not going to throw, right? That was a whole thing. But seeing like storylines legitimately develop there and like then go to the internet and see them take off.
Yeah.
But like I will also say, like, there were also storylines that were created to then be put online to like create sound bites and all this stuff. And I'm I don't know, man. Like it's just not me. So shout out to YouTube and the NFL, because like they invited us and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, so Mike Evans is returning to Tampa. We'll talk about that. I think Justin Jefferson's deal is closing in, and then Jason Kelce has a press conference later today.
1:00. Yeah, 1:00 today in
1
o'clock. Hours.
And I think, but the fact that he's doing a press conference, with the Eagles means he's retiring.
I agree.
But we can talk about that a little bit more as well. This week, what I really noticed, and maybe it's always like this, but I felt like just the amount of unsubstantiated rumors were ridiculous. Basically, if you are a free agent, a possible free agent, somebody who could be traded, you have been linked to the Atlanta Falcons. So congratulations. You're all going to Atlanta.
You did it. All of them.
Kirk Cousins is going there, imminent. Justin Fields is about to be traded to the Falcons. The Falcons are trading up for Jaden Daniels. The Falcons are actually going to sign Kirk Cousins.
Russell Wilson, too.
They're getting Drake May. Sorry, Drake May.
Yeah.
They're not doing all those things. I don't know where the fuck that stuff's coming from.
That's it. Jonathan! Boop! For the kitty. Listen, I that's the one thing I can control. Tommy might not go fast, but Tommy can catch every single ball.
Tight end. We're converting you to tight end, buddy.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Meow. Meow.
Sexiest meow in the game. But let's talk about Mike Evans, because that's obviously like the breaking story. So Mike Evans, appreciate you, Jordan, re-signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Before this season, there were contract talks. It seems like they just did not go well. And so I think the assumption was that for a lot of folks, that this was going to be the last year for Mike Evans. Mike Evans played well. Baker Mayfield played well. And I think that if Baker didn't have the season that he did, we're probably not seeing Mike Evans in a Buccaneers uniform.
Yeah.
But my man got paid. And I'm so happy for Mike Evans, because I know we talk about him a lot, but I still think he's an underrated wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah. In terms of just consistency, 1,000 yards, like every single season, he is just that guy, regardless of who his quarterback is, regardless of the circumstances, and the fact that he's going to be able to finish out his career in Tampa. Like, yeah, I'm just a huge fan of that, because he's just a great player, signed for a crap ton of money. And I'm all about it, dude.
Like a 2-year, $50 million deal, $35 million guaranteed for Mike. Yep. And that's what you hit on the story about Evans is we all thought that he might be traded before the trade deadline.
Yes.
Before the season started, kind of. And that was because nobody thought Baker Mayfield was going to play the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
And once they started to build something there with Baker, Evans statistically had a better year with Baker than he did when Brady was there. I think yards wise, touchdowns might have been less, but like there was also a false narrative that emerged this last week that Mike Evans wanted to leave Tampa Bay because he wanted to play with a contender and a quarterback who was going to feed him.
Yeah.
And I like as soon as I heard like a quarterback who was going to or an offense that was going to feature him, I was like, that's a bullshit report because he's literally coming off one of his best seasons.
Yeah,
or over the last like 5 years. Like he was featured in that offense. I don't think that's Mike Evans at all. And we were all scared he was going to go to those filthy little Chiefs. And
there was a fear.
Down.
There was a healthy fear. And I think just the entire league, especially the AFC West, just has a collective sigh of relief. They're like, okay, good. So now the Chiefs are going to go get Justin Jefferson.
No. Vikings are about to sign JJ.
That's it. Yeah, no, I really like this for the Buccaneers too. And the fact that we're likely going to see a Baker Mayfield extension, right, very soon. Yeah. It's one of the good, like, feel-good stories of last season, I feel, because the Buccaneers, and this is from my perspective too, it was like, yeah, they could win. The Saints were kind of favored to win that division. But for them to go out and even win a playoff game, and then they held their own against the Lions too. Yeah, like this is kind of little expectations, and look what they were able to do. Now you build upon that, and Mike Evans is going to retire a Buccaneer. Wins all the way around.
I think his return is the biggest sign that Baker's deal is going to happen with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Evans signs there if they're unsure about what they're going to do at the quarterback position. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Although if you're going to argue for a guy who shouldn't give a shit about who's playing quarterback, it is Mike Evans. It's like, I'll put up 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. I don't care who is.
I'm throwing to him. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Perna got a fitty.
Oh, I'm worried about taking William and getting rid of Fields. I think Fields has great attitude, leadership, while everything I've seen in Williams making me think he isn't the leader we need.
So, like,
I think I wouldn't worry about his leadership. I think he's a leader. I think people like him. I think you're getting tricked by the fake BS. Guy can ball. He's going to be your next quarterback. I like Justin Fields too. And I wouldn't worry about that other stuff. He's talented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a good player. It's just, can you develop him? Like that's what I would be afraid of.
I mean, look, the Bears can take Caleb Williams, number 1. Then they got the 9th pick. This is a stacked offensive line draft. They can grab another piece for their line. They can trade Justin Fields, possibly get another first rounder for him. So like what you can build right away, I'd feel good about it.
Yeah. No, they have the capital. I know. They just have to develop. Like that is the issue. Because if this does not go well, people will lose their jobs. Because Justin Fields did not go well.
Yeah.
You know, Justin Fields gets drafted and it's like the Messiah of Chicago, and it just did not go well.
Yeah.
So,
I think the thing with Caleb Williams, it's more like, has he solidified himself as that much better of a prospect than Jaden Daniels and Drake May? Like that's the more fair question I think to ask of him. And if you spend enough time, you will find reasons to not trust any of those quarterbacks. There are people who've written about how they throw, what they do well, what they don't do well. But I think all 3 of those guys have decent chances to be very good quarterbacks.
I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah, pretty much everybody eats bread.
And everybody eats bread. But yes, I agree. And so like Jaden, I saw that too while I was at the combine too. Jaden Daniels was like getting a bit of a boost, and it was like, no, like there's some folks like he's the best quarterback in the draft. It shouldn't even be Caleb Williams. I think it's a done deal. I think it's a done deal that Caleb Williams is going to Chicago. I mean, I think that's pretty evident. I think all the stuff that I was seeing of like, oh, you know, he's tanking his draft pick and stuff like that. Let me put it this way. Caleb Williams, who I think right now is the consensus number 1 overall pick, has been there for a while. And regardless of like Jaden Daniels moving up or what have you, I don't think that Caleb Williams refuses to do a lot of the things that he's like, I'm opting out of, unless he's pretty damn sure that he's going to one of those teams. He's not going to be like, oh, I did all this work and all this money that's been invested into me, like to be a top 5 pick, potentially the number 1 pick, for me to be like, you know what, guys, I don't feel like throwing. I think that got overblown a little bit. So there's communication between teams and players. And I think that the consensus is that he's going to Chicago.
Yeah. Basically, Caleb's got to be like, all right, I will give everything that the Bears want from me. You want my medical? You want the workout? If you're not going to draft me, then who do I got to talk to?
That's literally it. By the way, Lord Taco, giving you the hundo.
Lord Taco, do you know how many tacos I can buy with that $100?
We need to have a taco clip.
Actually, give me 1 second, Lord. I'm going to get you a brand new clip.
Get me one moment, Lord.
Brand new one.
Please. But yeah, Caleb will likely go to the Bears. I think the Justin Fields trade is likely going to happen within the next 2 weeks. It's probably going to be like imminent. I'm just very curious of where he goes. Like you talked about, he's been linked to so many different teams, especially the Falcons. And yeah, I hope he does well wherever he goes, because Justin Fields seems like a good dude. You know, I think there's obviously talent there, and I'm curious to see how he would be utilized by a different head coach, offensive coordinator, etc.
Yeah, I think the greater mystery, if we're talking about the top of the draft, is what the Patriots or Commanders are going to do. Are either of those teams going to try and capitalize on their draft position? I don't think they're going to take anything other than a QB there. But versus I feel like there's a better chance for Washington to try and trade up or move back, or than there is for the Bears to not take Caleb Williams at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
All right, I got a new one for.
Okay, we got a new clip. All right, the debut of a new clip. Brandon Perna.
Well, I got to upload it. Hold on.
Never mind. I thought that was going to be a perfect segue. I thought that was going to be perfect timing. I was very wrong.
Coming, Lord. It's coming, Lord.
By the way, so I talked to Corum, the running back from Michigan. I talked to him.
Blake.
Yeah. So I dabbed him up when I saw him, and I put my hand on dude. My hand bounced off. It was the most solid thing I've ever felt in my life. And no, dude, his shoulder. I was just damn.
Nice shoulder, Blake.
Built. So, dude, we had so much fun talking to prospects, because I asked them football questions and stuff like that, but just off camera, it's just that connection to be dude, you did this. You did this. You worked your ass off. You worked so hard. You're gonna get drafted potentially in the first round. And it was just really cool to kind of make those connections with those dudes. And, even if it was for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, but dude, super proud of you. Just go rock it wherever you are. And there's a bunch of guys who could go to the Packers too, because those are the guys I've requested. And yeah, it's super exciting. Super exciting.
Don't forget to thumbs up this video.
I'm not going to stop until you fucking thumbs up the video, you sickos. Did you do it? Okay, I'll stop.
As requested by Kevin to insert for a clip. Welcome back, Tom. Welcome back to reality.
Week talking you up to the NFL, and I was like, man, we gotta get Brandon in this program. If they are watching right now, Brandon,
they're just Tom was right. That guy's
Tom, that's what we need. It's the cutting of the music that does it for me, and then you just hear the full.
It worked.
Was that video thumbs up a lot?
12,000 likes.
Whoa.
Basically almost double average.
Hey. That's right. I will bankrupt the Minnesota.
500 million over 5. Dang, dude. That's a Mahomes deal for tight end.
Yeah, but that's me. Minnesota, don't worry. I'm of course going to catch everything. Don't you worry. Dude, when we did the drills, there were legit scouts there. Like there was a Bear scout there. There was an Eagle scout there. And I ran the first one. And I was like, okay. Cause like, dude, I haven't run a 40 since like high school in like gym class. I don't even know the technique. I watched like one YouTube video because we were told beforehand we were going to get like time to, we met early to stretch and to like be shown the drill. Neither of those things happened. So I was like, oh, okay. Like Scooter texted me this morning. He's like, are you hurting? I was like, my legs are shot. Like they are, I was dragging bags of equipment up like parking garage stairs yesterday. And I was like, oh. But I bent to them and I was like, okay, like what did I do wrong besides everything? And they're like, everything. And I was like, cool. I got better every time I ran because I was like, okay, like I'm getting it a little bit. Like broad jump, I have really long legs, but I've never done it before since like middle school. So like I had no idea technique. And I was like jumping. I'm like, why am I not going far? And then I just started doing it afterwards. I was like, I could jump farther than this. Like I know I can. So then I was able to jump a little bit further after. But you know, listen.
Yeah. Stretching's important too. Like
no stretching. No stretching occurred. And I was like, this is a mistake.
That's how hamstrings get ripped.
No, it's just, it's brutal. It is
Now,
brutal.
sprinting works muscles you don't realize are in your body.
Because I used to do it when I like was training for, like when I run, I usually end with a sprint. Like I like jog, like I'll jog like for a few miles and then I'll sprint. I also haven't worked out in like 3 months because of playoffs. So it was just bad. I was out of shape. And that showed me how out of shape I am. I'm like, okay, so now I'm just motivated by spite. So if I go back next year, Brandon.
Yeah, you got to develop those fast twitch muscles.
I just need to know how to line up to do a 40. That would help a lot.
Honestly, the lining up for it's one of the trickiest parts.
I had no idea what I'm doing. They're like, move your foot. I was like, this is so uncomfortable. So
yeah,
it's fine. We're going to get there. It's all right. Listen, I didn't drop a ball. I'm very happy about that. I sucked everything. I'm owning it. Yeah. No excuses. Tommy's out of shape. We going to get in shape. We are going to get in shape. Anyway. Yeah, this was actually a conversation I had with some Chargers folks when I was at the combine. Because this is not the greatest position. Like they're in right now. Like they have to deal with Bosa, Khalil Mack. This was the issue with the Chargers and as a whole. They have aging guys and big contracts, and they don't have a ton of cap.
Right.
So if I'm Harbaugh, I don't think all these guys come back. I think you're kind of like ripping off a little bit of a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I would. Oh man, the problem with Bosa and Williams is they've had a difficult time staying healthy.
Yeah.
I would almost keep Khalil Mack and try and deal Bosa. You don't want to. I don't know about Mike Williams. Yeah, I'd take Justin Fields. I wanted him when we could have drafted him.
It's true. It's true.
But like my opinions of Justin Fields have done this. I wanted him, and it's not, again, I'm very happy with Patrick Surtain. He's amazing. Tremendous. Don't want to get rid of Pat Surtain. Right away, looked like we dodged a bullet with Fields. Then he looked really good. Then it's like, okay, well now, is he good? Is he bad? We wouldn't have traded for Russell Wilson. We would have had more draft picks. We probably would have had an overall better roster had they drafted Justin Fields. So right now, though, I don't think the Broncos are going to trade for a quarterback like Justin Fields. I think they're going to try and draft a QB.
I saw Sean Payton, by the way, out at the bar.
Oh, nice.
I did. He walked like right past me, and I was like, oh, man, all right. It was, yes, JJ McCarthy was definitely getting some buzz about, he got a bunch of questions about going to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
So, no real surprise there. Yeah, Tyron Smith and Van Der Esch. Dude, Tyron Smith, Scooter was not happy about that because I was with him when he like got the news. He was not happy about that.
But that's the thing. Like, this is a good draft to try and replace your tackles. So,
yeah.
And if the top of the draft is as QB heavy as it appears to be, Dallas would be in a spot for to take a dude. We've got a JJ McCarthy video coming out tomorrow or Wednesday. So,
oh boy, yeah.
So this is what they're projecting.
The Jets already did it.
Yeah, I didn't mean to pull that up exactly at that moment.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, JJ. So also Russell Wilson removed his Broncos mentions on his Twitter profile or whatever. So it's just what's like we've assumed Russ is gone. It's like if he returns, it's going to be some sort of miracle where he and the front office patch things up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the beginning of last week, Sean Payton says, we'll have a decision within the next 2 weeks on Russell Wilson. And everybody's like, decision with Russell Wilson expected within next 2 weeks. No shit. They have to make a decision by March 17th. We have known about this deadline. Yeah. And then it's like yesterday, decision expected actually this week on Russell Wilson. Again, free agency starts next week. They have to make it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So, yes, it appears Russ will be gone. That said,
sorry, good.
That's why we're high on J.J. McCarthy. Sample size is small. Don't know. But he has made a rise. And it always scares me a little bit when a guy makes a rise up draft boards and he hasn't played new football. Was there a new football game in there he played?
Yeah.
No? Oh, crap.
Well, like, it's funny you bring up a new football game. Like, that happens with the Senior Bowl, right? Like, there's guys like, oh, the Senior Bowl happens. They're like, oh, my God. Like, that's why a lot of these... Like, I remember Aaron Donald coming out because I remember Ask Vic. It was like the daily Packers, like, column where you, like, submitted questions and stuff. It's a throwback. And he mentioned Aaron Donald before the Senior Bowl. And so I was like, ooh, okay, like, let me keep an eye on him because this is before I was doing a ton of Packcast stuff and all that. And I remember the Senior Bowl happened and I was like, oh man, like that would be amazing. And then he just like rocketed up draft boards, then eventually got drafted by the Rams pretty high. But yes, I agree with you. You get very like that was with the corner. Was that Josh Jackson years ago with the Packers? Like he had like all these interceptions, but he played like 8 games. And it was just like, okay, like, yeah, that's always concerning. Like they had this one really good season, a really small sample size, and then they declare. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is a little weary.
It happens, and it doesn't mean it's wrong.
No.
When it's the quarterback position, you're taking a swing on potential, basically. And most of your decision should have already been made based on the tape, what the scouts watched. But like a guy like Aaron Donald, who maybe an organization thinks highly of, and then they get to know him at the Senior Bowl and they're like, oh yeah, we really like him. And then if they go to the combine and you're like, oh shit, their athletic measurables are even better than what we watched, then that's why it can really benefit guys like that. And there's a bunch of like, I feel like this combine has just been speed. It's like everybody's fast now. Oh, are you a 6'8" tackle? Fast. 300-pound defensive lineman? Fast.
Yep.
I'm like, how is every guy out there running like,
dude, the speed and seeing it in person.
Yeah, I bet.
Is like, holy God. Like, because like you're taking like these guys who are running 4.21, right? Yeah. Or even if it's like a 4.3, you're basically going 10 yards in a second. And to see that in person when I did not do that is just wow. And it's so funny because like we'll see someone run like a 4.3 and be like, wow, it's super fast. Then someone's gonna run like a 4.6 and they're like, those slow pieces of garbage. Like it's the difference of that. It's 0.3, and to see that in person, 0.3. But it's funny because you just watch that all day. Because you're watching drills. So you watch like the wide receivers go, the QBs, tight ends, defensive line, you'd watch them just run 40s all day. And you start to develop like, oh, that's a good time. Oh, that's a bad time. Like, oh, that's a little bit slower. Yeah. Like once Worthy ran that, like the entire, before it even was like on the screen, people were going nuts because he just bolted. It was just really cool. They could, by the way. They could, but Fields does not want to do that. Yeah. And I would imagine the Bears want compensation now so they can build it in the draft.
Yeah.
They have a structured settlement. They need cash now. Call JG Wentworth.
Don't use South Park for Lord Taco. What?
If you're doing like taco flavored kisses, maybe from like that J-Lo episode when it's on Cartman's hand.
Oh.
It's an old one. It's an old one. It's true. True. I heard plenty of spicy things. There was plenty.
Did you get a steak at St. Elmo's Steakhouse, Tom?
I don't eat steak, so no.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
No. I will say, Tuesday night, I went out because that was the first night I was at the Combine, and I drank more that night than I probably drank since college. And I woke up, I got back to my hotel at 3:30, and I was up at 7:30 ready to work. And I was like, but you go, oh, I saw you 3 hours ago. Oh, I saw that coach 3 hours ago. Oh, I saw, like, that, that told me, oh, that's what the Combine is. Okay, I got to get ready. So, yeah, it was really fun. I mean, I just tried to, like, meet new people and just kind of, like, network as much as possible. So, yeah, it was nice. It was enjoyable. Talking about Mike Evans and continuing with that, a few other things, Packers related, just real quick. Story came out that it's expected that A.J. Dillon is going to be let go, that he's going to able to walk in free agency. No real surprise there. It's why I interviewed a bunch of running backs as well, because it seems like that is going to be something they're going to address, potentially even 2 running backs relatively early, because Aaron Jones, they're talking about him like getting trying to relieve some cap, that hit that he's going to cause. That came out a few days ago. And listen, Aaron Jones needs to stay there, but it's also need to think about the future and say, okay, can we get a guy to develop behind Aaron Jones, also get a change of pace back? And that could be Emmanuel Wilson, but yeah, we'll see. Lungs are bad. The lungs were bad. The lungs were not good.
A.J. Dillon had like a ridiculous combine performance too when he was coming into the NFL.
He did. Oh, I can't straighten my leg right this second. Oh, God. They're hurting, buddy. They're hurting. Russell Wilson, speaking of social media things, no longer any Broncos thing.
Yeah, I just said that like 5 minutes ago.
That's my bad.
You just treed me.
I pulled a U. I pulled a U.
That's tree.
That's also accurate.
It's mostly tree. It's all of us.
That's fair.
It's all of us.
Yes. All right. Talk about Justin Jefferson. He was the talk of the town at times.
Yeah, I mean, and here's another guy where it's like, oh, are they going to let him go? Or are they not? The Vikings are going to pay Justin Jefferson. And I think the question for me at this point with Minnesota is, are they going to bring back Kirk Cousins? It feels like every day that we don't hear something, it seems a little bit less likely that Cousins will go back there. Yes, you got to pay your receiver a lot. It depends on what Kirk's going to want to play for. And here's another thing we can't figure out, because we were told Kirk Cousins wants to come back to Minnesota, is willing to play on a team-friendly deal for, I don't exactly remember how it was phrased, but
sure,
he's not looking to max out his contract, I think is what it was.
Not yet.
Now, Kirk Cousins is not willing to play on a hometown discount with the Vikings.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's true. And
I'll be very honest with you, Brandon. If you're not bringing back Justin Jefferson, I ain't playing on a hometown discount. There's no shot. There is no shot.
But Kirk's in a point,
Did not get a chance to.
I still feel like they'll get a deal done with Cousins. But I don't think that stops them from drafting a quarterback either. It's like they got to sign him, and then they got to draft a guy without telling him.
So it could be a situation where, again, depending on cap, because the issue is too, like, it's all just coming down to the Vikings at once, right? It's Justin Jefferson and it's Kirk Cousins. If it was just one or the other, then you're like, okay. But I agree with you. I think you should bring back Kirk Cousins, even if you're like, I'm not going to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years with him, but we'll be competitive. And then you draft a guy who can be the guy and learn and develop behind Kirk Cousins, because he wouldn't be a bad quarterback to learn from. So, true story. But again, the NFC North is going to be insane next year, because the Lions, obviously, they're just going to continue to build. The Packers are going to continue to build. The Bears, they're going to take some big swings, on getting their top guy, because also they have the top 10 pick as well. And then the Vikings are just going to have to find a way to compete. And that is, okay, we're going to spend money on guys who have been here before, like a Justin Jefferson, like a Kirk Cousins. Then that's also going to restrict what they can do.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
maybe.
dominoes that are
Maybe.
basically controlled by the NFC North at this point.
Yeah.
Kevin Byard expected to be released by the Eagles.
Yeah.
I bring this up because we give Philly a lot of credit for roster building, for drafting, for going all in. And when they acquired Byard, the Eagles, we're like, oh shit, they're ready. They're ready to make their run again. And then not necessarily Kevin Byard's fault. Defensive coordinator situation was a mess. Everything went wrong for the Eagles. But it's like, that's like when you're making those midseason moves, it doesn't have to be I just remember thinking like the Titans were stupid for letting him go.
Yes.
The Eagles are now certainly going to be back to the championship game.
Geniuses.
And it didn't work.
Sure.
And I think Jason Kelce's going to retire today too. So like they're going to have holes to fill. It's hard to like, it's so hard in today's NFL to maintain an elite roster.
Brandon,
On every level.
Literally look at the Eagles. Their roster, like there were some changes, don't get me wrong, but they also made amazing additions, but they lost their coordinators and look how bad it was.
Yeah.
So it's not even just the players you have, it's personnel, because if you keep winning, they're going to go too. You got a fitty, Perna.
Tom refused to say my full name when I subbed to him, and my ego hasn't been the same. Please save me from this purgatory, Perna. Sir Jizsmith Raphael Montig III. Sir Jizsmith. Okay.
If worms had machine guns, then birds wouldn't be scared of them.
Go Chargers, go.
It's going to be so much fun this season. It's going to be great. But yes, you are correct. Like, and that's why a GM, their job is really effing difficult because it's putting together that squad and trying to like make it work and being like, here, coach, try to coach these players to actually winning.
Yeah.
So, oh, I'd like $10. That'd be nice. Like,
live like me for a day.
Yeah, we like doing a Freaky Friday thing. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
that'd be weird. I could do that with my friends.
I mean, Tom and I do basically live very similar day to days.
Yeah, it's like there is
sitting right here, writing, thinking about football, shooting videos about football, editing, uploading videos about football.
Yeah, it's about accurate.
Yeah, Rattler's a guy to watch.
Yep.
Good Senior Bowl, good combine. Is in this weird spot with Bo Nix and Penix and JJ McCarthy, where like, is he as good as those guys? I think a lot of people think so. You're hoping he's going to be available in the second or third round. Then you get a steal. Penix had a really good combine too. It's kind of emerged as the best ball thrower of all the top quarterback talent. Let me see.
I will say, because did they verify the speeds on some of those? Because like there was guys throwing like high 50s, like low 60s. Dude, watching them do that and like, because it's like 20 yards away, you line up. Yeah. I was watching the drill. Like they literally just go and they just throw it as hard as they can, like at the mat. It was like bullets. It was insane. Like,
yeah, that thing's cool. That needs to be a bigger like event.
So I talked about this with Johnny too. So the first 2 days of the combine, you have like D-line, like tight ends, defensive backs, all that stuff. And there's people there because they allow fans there. And like, it's really cool because like their high school coaches come and like they're in the stands and that's really cool. And then there's the scouts and stuff. But Saturday, like, which is like the day where it's like QBs, running backs, wide receivers, like all the big name, they like filled that up like to the top, like that whole back half of the stadium. And like you can see the combine and the spectacle / event that it could become. And like Indy does an amazing job hosting it because you legitimately do not have to go outside. Like if it's a bad day out, like weather-wise or something, you could get to the stadium, the convention center, everything by never leaving like indoors. So it's really convenient for that. But you could just see the potential that's there. Because it is 8 hours of just drills, right?
Yeah.
And it can get very like, okay, but that day where guys are running 40s and like the crowd is reacting to it, they're showing coaches and scouts like on the screen and the fans are reacting to it. It just makes it so much better. So much better.
Yeah, because for most of it, it's boring shit. Like, unless you're really into
it,
football, like, it's a niche event
It's very
for
niche.
the most passionate football fans. Like, nobody's your average fan isn't like, ooh, which corner, which corner that we might take in the second or third round ran the best 40, or
Sure.
whose 3-cone drill is off the charts.
Yeah.
It's for football people. But like being there's got to be more exciting.
Oh yeah.
I do want to clarify something though. I kept seeing these videos of the quarterbacks warming up to go throw. Are we this desperate for content where we're calling a guy throwing a 25-yard pass indoors to warm up his arm a dart? And then I had to edit this tweet because people thought I was shitting on JJ McCarthy.
No,
I was shitting on people calling this a dart.
But look at what the account is, dude. Like,
I know what the account. I know
it's an engagement account. That's
I
it.
know. It
That's
wasn't the only account though. It wasn't the only. I saw it too many times. I'm like, I'm sick of seeing this. This is not a dart. This is not a dart. Let's have some standards. We're literally tweeting out videos of the guys warming up to go throw the boring ass statistical drills. We don't need this much content, Tom.
I'm just letting you get it out.
So annoying. And then the fact that people are like, what do you got against JJ McCarthy?
Get off my lawn.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I agree
Dude,
with
if
you, by the way.
thinking this pass is lame makes me a boomer, then fucking put me in my grave, Tom. Just kill me now. Kill me now and bury me under my lawn.
Deep. You're going under the playground. Blake Corum, by the way, is the answer to that gallon of water. He was I was like, oh, rock. Solid as a rock.
And on my grave, put died when indoor passes were called darts.
That's what did it. That's what finally ended the YouTube career of Brandon Perna. He's like, I can't do it anymore. We've gone too far. We can't go back. Sure.
Yeah, my combine results would be underwhelming.
Yeah, like bro, like I'm out of shape. I'm out of shape. But like I'm actually excited though, because like I'm so spiteful to myself that I will work out for a year, and like I will run a better one.
You should. It's good for you.
Yeah, dude, I was, like we were talking, dude. I was like on that bike like every day, and then January hit, and it was just playoffs, and so like I got soft. I found some really good vegan burger places though in Indianapolis that were really
That's
really
nice.
good. It made me really really happy. We have not talked about before. Yeah, not as their defensive coordinator though. Right? Because that's while we were away. Yeah, I think it's solid. I think the 49ers, again, they have so much talent there. They definitely need to like work on the secondary a little bit, but they're Wilkes was the guy where there was concerns throughout the season, but then there was games where it was like, okay, it looked a lot better. But then, like, the pass rush wasn't great for a bit, and then they get Chase Young, and then you're like, okay. Then he goes from the booth to the sideline, and it's a little bit better, and, like, they have a good season. I think, like, Wilkes got a lot of crap, and I know you and I talked about this. I think that it would have been fine if he stayed, but I think he a little scapegoated because, for the most part, they played really good defense, except near the end. So.
Yeah, and I think...
Hey, happy birthday.
It's like I think the Niners they're so close to winning the Super Bowl that it's like, yes, Steve Wilkes is a good defensive coordinator, but we cannot settle for anything less than great. Like, we have to get over the hump, and we were right there. And in the biggest game, it didn't work out. Apparently, the Niners reached out to Bill Belichick too. So,
hey, that's it. It's going to be the 49ers. That's going to be a team to watch of just like, I'm just curious what they're going to do. Because you just stand in that room and go, all right, let's try to do it again and like get to the Super Bowl again and hope the Chiefs aren't there and hopefully not the Ravens either.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Let's see what you get. Dude, Worthy.
4-2.
And this is there. It is all respect to Xavier Worthy. I am not even going to pretend to predict. I know how his career is going to go. But they also did show like the top wide receivers with like the top 40 times. And a lot of them did not have very good careers. And a lot of like, that was some chatter that was going around the combine too. Is like for wide receivers, like it's flashy and it's really cool. But that's just, they don't really play at that speed. Like that's why like the shuttle is usually used and valued a little bit more by coaches or different position groups who are running the 40. Because, like, even offensive linemen, man, I mean, unless you're going out to block, but you're still, like, you're very rarely running 40 yards down the field in a straight line.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's just, I think it's a little bit more of a spectacle kind of thing.
Yeah. There's like it's like, can this guy run a 4.3 40? Oh, yeah. He's fast enough. He can do everything you're going to need him to do.
Sure.
The funniest thing, and I put it in my short about the 40 time, because I did a 40 time short about the 3 fastest 40 times last week, and then it was broken. I was like, cool, I can make a new one.
Sure.
Of course, people are like, this age like milk, idiot. Wrong. Soon as it was broken, wrong. All right, okay, I'll fix it.
Cool. I knew this was going to happen.
It was posted before this happened. My apologies. What was I going to say? Oh God. Now I don't even remember my point.
You're talking about 40 times and about like how fast and slow you made the video and it broken. I was saying how
because like the running joke the NFL was doing, like because they can overlay the guys running, right? So they put Xavier's next to John Ross,
and
showed,
it was literally
right, which is cool. And then they kept throwing in just Patrick Mahomes running the 40 and how much faster the guys were.
Like Mahomes. Okay, I also want to be very, because what did he run, a 4.8?
Yeah, something like that.
That is still insanely fast. Like I need to be like people to understand. For like normal people, that is still very fast.
Yeah.
Like Scooter, I don't want to reveal his time just in case he's putting that out in a video. Like Scooter, I think was the best one out of all of us. Like to run that, he did not beat Patrick Mahomes.
Did he break 5?
I don't know if I'm allowed to reveal that.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't want to spoil his content just in case.
Sure, yeah.
By the way, also, like, JT, whatever, Packers have Lil Wayne. Okay? Like, no, it's not like a singer, but we got Lil Wayne. We rock with Lil Wayne.
We had Ciara. Now she gone.
Yeah, not so much.
She's leaving.
Hey, Fernando, appreciate you. Let's go. Whose house? Swerve's house, but also Ram's house. Appreciate you. But yeah, like, because Mahomes tweeted it out before the combine started and was like, please don't keep using me for the simulcam. Yeah. And of course,
they kept doing it.
I think they're, of course, going to continue to do so. So, yeah, it was, it really just gave me a perspective of like, damn, 1, I'm out of shape. And 2, these guys are like in peak physical condition. Like it was funny. You put out the short of the slowest 40 times and before you did that, I was looking them up because I was like, I just have to beat this, right? I just have to beat this. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see like a 7 or an 8. It's 6.05. And I looked at that and I was like, crap. This is going to be difficult for a normal person, me, to break.
That's the thing, like the slowest NFL players are still faster than all of us.
Yes. Like that did not help the confidence. So it was good. It was good. It's fine. I didn't drop a ball. Joe Burrow's supposed to be healthy by mid-May, so that's very, very exciting. There was also it's happened like I think yesterday, the new proposal for the onside kick rule.
What's the whole kickoff rule that they're considering, right?
They're trying to like revamp the whole thing. For the onside kick, they are basically saying, hey, you could only kick it in the fourth quarter, like when behind. So kind of making these parameters so you can't just pull a New Orleans Saints, at halftime coming out of the Super Bowl. But if you do that, you could line up in like a 6-4 position. Like you can have like more guys on one side to kind of give you an extra opportunity to recover it. The problem with that is also telling the other team that you are kicking an onside kick. Yeah. So yeah.
But they're looking to basically adopt the XFL and USFL kickoff
Nuts.
rule where the teams line up on the same side of the field, and it's still kicked from the same spot. Guys can't start running until I think the ball gets into the zone and is actually caught or fielded by the guy. It looks stupid, but after like recapping XFL last year, I think it's the only way for the NFL to save the kickoff and make it part of like the game again.
Yeah.
Because you like when they adjusted that way, I thought there's going to be a lot of kickoff returns because it feels like you break the initial defense line and you're gone.
You're gone.
And it's not really the case. I think there's more kickoffs that result in bigger plays, but I would love for the NFL to adapt this and for kickoffs to be part of the game again, because they just like how many kicks were even returned for touchdowns last year?
Dude, how many kicks were in the Super Bowl, right? There wasn't a single like kickoff that was fielded.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't a single one. I mean, this was something Packers fans were super excited for Keyshawn Nixon to come back because he did so well last year. And it just seemed like he didn't have a lot of opportunities to return it. And if he was, he was going like significantly deep back from the end zone. I was like, all right, I'm going to try to make this work. And then it's a matter of like, all right, well, do we just start at the guaranteed 25? Like there is something that needs to change, whether you're moving away from it completely or, you're going to just try to spice it up a little bit. But the kickoff has become, and I know we've talked about in the show, and a lot of folks in the chat have talked about this too, that it's kind of just become like ceremonial.
Yeah.
Like, here's the kickoff. That's it.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I mean, I remember basically Andrew Beck returning a kick for a touchdown for the Texans. Fullback / tight end hybrid, slow ass Andrew Beck. Oh, if that would curse him, do it.
If you somehow die before me, do you want me to spread your ashes at Arrowhead to curse the Chiefs for eternity?
I got to be buried under there.
Buried.
You spread the ashes, then it's like...
Then it's more like, this is where I wanted to be. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want me to go like with a shovel, go to Arrowhead, and just like drag your corpse.
This is what I want.
Okay, you tell me.
This is what I want.
Because I got you.
This is what I want. I want when after I'm dead. Okay, I got to be 100% dead. Make sure I'm dead. Okay, Tom.
No, I got you, and you ain't gonna be coming back as a vampire either. I got you.
Chop off my penis. Chop off my penis. Bury that under Arrowhead.
Okay,
so I can screw the Chiefs
already
at will. Rest of my body cremated. Spread those ashes over Mile High. I bless Mile High. I use my buried penis to screw the Chiefs for eternity.
Can I just ask a follow-up question? Just like one quick follow-up question. Does it have to be me that cuts that off? Like, you wouldn't want maybe Jess to do that?
You can cut it off, sure.
Wait, I can? Wait, no, I'm saying, does it have to be me?
No, Jess can cut it off.
Okay, so she could just give me like, like a lunch bag, like with it already there. Because like, I feel like, that's a you guy thing, right? Like it's you too. So I'll go. And now is it just the wiener, or you want the everything?
Oh, good question.
I'm just trying. I want to make sure that I
try
do
everything.
Right.
Probably need the whole shebang.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The whole kit and caboodle. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just put it in like a brown paper bag, and
yeah.
Okay. We'll do that. I'll do 30 and 30 again when I'm like 75 years old. It's like, why are you doing this, Tom? And I'm gonna be like,
I've got to put something here.
I got something I need to do. So, and they'll be like, Tom, but you're the most successful wide receiver of all time. And I was like, yeah, just need to go to Arrowhead. Don't look for a second. Yeah. Also, I have a shovel.
That's how I screw them forever. Easy.
I got you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I ask.
That's all it's not a lot. Not a lot. Don't do one. Just trade down then. Just trade down. Don't even do Marvin. By the way, that was funny too, because I was like, I wanted to get like footage of Marvin Harrison Jr. like speaking, and he just didn't show up. And I was like, did I miss him? And then it was not until going online and finding out like, oh yeah, he didn't show up. But
doesn't need to. I don't
know if he's the next Gronk. I think I don't know if he's the next Gronk. I think also if you're drafting him that high, and I'm not saying he's an awful blocker, but like that's not what he's known for. I think it's risky, dude. Like anytime you take a tight end within the top 10, it's risky business out here.
Yeah, it depends on where he goes, right?
Yeah.
If he goes to Kansas City and replaces like Travis Kelce, then he's going to have a tremendous and long career.
Happy belated birthday, Fat Batman. I hope it was fantastic.
And last year's tight end draft class was so good. Like, it's going to be hard to live up to that as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I've watched, like, everybody has seen, like, what Brock Bowers can do. He looks like a unstoppable beast at points.
He could be a monster. It's just that risk of, like, a top 10 it's high. Like, you have to be 100% sure that he is going to be the guy.
Yeah, it's like which
quarterback
is throwing him footballs?
Yeah. And
Ooh,
if
what
you're
if
the
the Jets
Bears too,
took him at 10?
you want an O-lineman. Like if you're the Bears, like you probably gonna go O-line to probably center. But I don't know if you go that high for that. But
Broncos need a tight end. Raiders could use one. Indy at 15 would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Odunze too, like coming out of the combine, just like everything he did was good. Everything he did.
Oh yeah,
he is
Rome is not
beast,
burning,
dude. Like he is a holy crap. Like he walks in, and you're like, damn, okay.
Yeah, he's basically trying to move into the number 2 receiver taken spot, right? It's like between him and Malik Neighbors at this point, and I think Rome impressed a lot of people at the combine as well.
There's not one guy in particular that I'm like, oh no, this would be bad. The Packers are picking late, so
yeah,
it's not. It's more of positional value at this point of like where you are. Like the Packers could trade down. They have so many things that they could do because they have so many draft picks. Is there a quarterback that you don't want, Brandon?
A quarterback
that you don't want?
At this point, no. Like, I don't know if I believe any of them can save my team.
Mm-hmm.
But if they like JJ McCarthy, go get him. If they like Penix, go get him. If they like Bo Nix, go get him. If they like Rattler, or they're waiting to take Pratt or whatever later, like fine, whatever. Just give me a quarterback. Give me any. I'm so needy.
I get it. But that's why, right? It's like the worst time to draft a quarterback is when you need one. And you're just like, I'm here and I'm not the number 1 spot or the top 3 pick. Yeah, that's difficult. We talked about this already, like Justin Jefferson. It's going to be interesting because dude's going to get paid. Dude is going to get paid a ton of money.
Yeah, he's going to make some money. What I would like the Broncos to do, let's say they're sitting at 12. Let's say JJ goes before they even pick at 12.
Mm-hmm.
I would like them to trade back a little
bit, get everything,
and get a second rounder, and then take a best player available, like whatever they think it is, an edge guy, you're another corner, whatever, and then in your second round, grab a guy like Spencer Rattler. But see, Denver doesn't have that second round pick because we gave it up for Sean Payton. So that's kind of the hole in this draft. Like, even talking about the Broncos trying to move up, it's like they have to get creative with their draft capital.
What are they going to tell you to package a 3rd and a 4th? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're packaging then it's like you got to go into 2025. Then each of these picks have less value because however their stupid scoring thing works. So it's tricky. They got to stay put and hope the guy falls.
I think he's retiring in an hour.
Yeah.
Perna was saying that too. I think the fact that this is a press conference, he deserves one. Like, he deserves the send-off that he wants. But yeah, I think the fact that he's calling this all together, I don't think it'd be like, I'm coming back, everybody.
Yeah, because I feel like if he was coming back, he would have done it like he did. Was it last year where he slammed the beer and said he's coming back? Today he's like, no beer slamming, have a press conference. Because you're making more of a formal thing of it if you're retiring. And I think Kelce has a lot of respect for the organization. So because he could have announced this on his podcast too. It could have been like, hey, we're going live on the pod, do the numbers there. But I think he's going to do it with the Eagles, to do it the way a lot of guys. And when's the last time we've had a center a press conference, like any lineman really, to retire this way. Did Whitworth have one when he retired recently?
Like they just showed a clip of that too, of like, I think it was just floating around on Twitter of him saying, you know, to his kids, like, hey, like, this was dad's last game. Like, I'm gonna be home now. And it was like, they had a thing, but it wasn't like this. And I will say, because Jason Kelce in Philadelphia has garnered that respect, right? Philadelphia's like, that's our guy. I'm very happy that these past 2 years, he has had that spotlight on him of just like how good of a player he is. And like if he is going out in an hour, which we all think he is, he's getting his flowers because he 100% deserves them.
Yeah,
he does. But
the best part too of like being a center, even if you're not good, nobody's gonna know. Like Jason Kelce could be very average, and we'd just be like,
"Oh no,
we don't know."
No, you trust me. When you don't have a good center, you know. The Chiefs are talking about this right now, and all the low snaps that were happening all season. And like,
nobody knows what a good center looks like. Great. That's my point.
When you have a bad center, you know.
I didn't say bad. I didn't say bad. I said you can be very average. Be like, that guy is great because we love him.
As long as you're consistent, you just have to be consistent. Yeah. It's true. Took it like a champ. So, yeah, that news. Oh man, and like Eisen just like live. That was rough, man. Mortensen he's like what part of the childhood too. Like I was preaching about like Chris Berman right when I got back from Vegas, just how influential Mortensen is. One of those guys. Like if you watched football growing up, like in the '90s and all that stuff, like he was the guy, and he was just it seemed like a kind dude. And him talking about, oh man, like him talking about how when he was at work and like he would talk to his colleagues about his family like all the time, and I was just like, damn, like that hit.
Yeah, he'd been battling cancer on and off for several
2016,
years.
Right?
Yeah,
he had, like throat cancer. Yeah. It was. I don't know if Joe Thomas had one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But yeah, no, it's just that one hit, buddy. That one hit. Brandon, what do you got coming out today, my friend?
We are working on real winners and losers of the NFL Combine, Tom.
Okay.
Something I haven't done before, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see.
That's fair.
What do you got?
I think I got a couple shorts coming out. I'm gonna be doing more like voiceover stuff and like prepping for the Combine stuff that needs to come out this week. So
nice.
Yeah. We'll be doing that, and we'll be rocking. It'll definitely be more into content tomorrow. I just need kind of a day to figure everything out. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
It's about to pick up with free agency, but
yep. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But folks,
I am up on this Monday, Hector.
Are we doing a show on Wednesday? Maybe potentially. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
When free agency is here, it's kind of like next week we'll be doing episodes. It's
next week's going to be busy.
Next week's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
But folks, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us back. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.
Thank you, Sting.
40 yards.
That was great.